Hello, everybody. It is Friday. You know what we do on Fridays. We are in the conversation room having the daggone conversation about something that is empowering, that's informational, that's uplifting. We're in here just having a good time because we made it through the week. And I just want to let you all know, for those who are new in the room tonight, my name is Jamila Scott. This fabulous show is Conversations with Graciously Me. I am the owner of Jamila Scott Enterprises, the founder of Graciously Me Women's Empowerment Group, which is actually home to over 900 women and counting. Whoop, 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 whoop. And host of this wonderful show, Conversations with Graciously Me. I see you all are already coming into the room tonight. And so I just want to say hello. Hey, say hello when you come in, so I know who's here. Say hello. And also, let me just say, tonight, we have a celebrity esthetician in the house because we are talking about having the best possible skin we can, because we all know spring is here, summer is coming, and we don't want to be flooded down by so much makeup. We want to be able to show our skin, be in love with our skin, and just be able to just shine through. So if you're watching tonight and you're watching the replay, type hashtag replay in the comments so I can show you some love a little bit later on. I definitely love all the replay viewers. And also, it's not too late, you guys, to share the live. So you can go to the page Conversations with Graciously Me and share the live. Tonight's show is actually sponsored by shopgraciouslyme.com. We have our own boutique where we know that empowered women come to shop, get luxury items, get items for empowerment. So if you have not shopped Graciously Me, please stop by. Do yourself a favor. And if you're still looking for Mother's Day gifts, let me tell you, a gift card is always the answer. You can't ever go wrong with that. And of course, we do offer gift cards. So let me just say, who's ready to talk about skin tonight? Let me know in the comments. Let me know you're ready. Let me know you made it through the week. You're ready to talk about this skin. You got your questions together. You're ready to learn. Type skin is in. If you're ready to learn about all the, okay, I see you. I see, hello. Type skin is in so that we can learn all that we can from the best. We have the expert in the house tonight. So go ahead, type skin is in so that I know you're ready. Oh, before I bring her in, if you have questions tonight and you know you may want to say something, in the description of the post, please give StreamYard permission to see your profile picture and your name. That way I know exactly who I'm talking to. When your question comes up, I can address you properly. So if you could just quickly write it out, go ahead and give StreamYard permission to see your name and your profile picture. Come right back on in and we'll know exactly who we're talking to tonight. So I'm so excited, y'all. You know, I even made sure, normally I got a little bit more lipstick and I got a little bit more, but I wanted to be all natural as possible as I could tonight because I didn't want to overdo it. You know, I really wanted to show the skin to come through tonight. So that was my homage to say, I'm so excited about the show. So without further ado, you guys, I'm going to bring her in. Celebrity esthetician, Aliesh Pierce. Hello, welcome to the conversation.
Hello, Jamila. It's good to see you. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
I am so excited about tonight's conversation because I often tell people, you know, people try to cover up so much, and there's a lot that you can do with makeup. Don't get me wrong. I love makeup and there's a lot that you can do. Yes. But there's sometimes the best foundation is going to make your makeup look that much more. Even for men to be able to, you know, they come in and the first thing you see the outfit, you see the skin, you know, you really want to be able to take care of your skin. And so it's really the best foundation.
It's true. Well, and with all of the conferences going on right now, skincare is taken even more important than makeup right now, because this way of communicating is so about, the face. This is see everything. So I will say, you mentioned makeup. That's my first love. That's my background.
Okay.
So I can, yeah. So I started when I was 12
Wow.
doing makeup, assisting for the Miss India pageant like 43 years ago. And
Wow.
I have just been, evolving and going since then. I started in Houston. After college, decided I wanted to go to Milan to work in fashion. Knew nothing about it, but I went as a student and then stayed to work. When I was ready to have my son, I moved back to New York. Started working in with musicians, predominantly like neo soul, hip hop. Um, Melrue, India.Arie, Yolanda Adams, those were my clients back then.
Okay.
And at one point, all three of my clients, the main three that I was working with, went into the studio at the same time. And I thought, well, what else, while they're working on their project, what else can I do? What do I love? And they all had skin issues. And I wanted to really get to the bottom of their skin issues, because I kept, on a 16-hour video, I was spackling makeup over and over and over again. And I thought, if I could just get their skin together.
Right.
So I went to a school and fell in love. That's, from there I wrote a textbook and, developed a product line, of director of education for a couple of other brands. It just kind of, took off in another direction.
That's awesome. I'm all into this. This is my world right here. So that is just to hear your story of how you traveled and, you work with the different celebrities. Now, I know you mentioned a few, but, we all love our forever president and first lady. I know you work with the Obamas, Obamas as well. So you have to tell us.
I did.
How
the first day that I worked with them, oh my goodness, I cried the first day. It was kind of top secret. It was for Essence, the first job. And Essence contacted the photographer. The photographer's producer contacted me and said, we can't tell anybody about it. He's in the running for presidency. I thought, okay, I wasn't sure who we were talking about, but I had an idea. And then once I was vetted, I got to go, meet them on the road and do a series of photo shoots and different projects with them. Yeah, it was a beautiful time.
Yes, I know that was awesome. It would be hard for me to kind of, when you're working with celebrities a lot, just kind of like, hey, but it's always that one that gets you. Yeah, right. Yeah. It's that one that's like, oh my gosh.
That first day, we were in Butte, Montana, and I was in the hotel room ready to go, but I couldn't walk out because I kept crying. I kept thinking about my grandparents and, how hard they worked to, make that foundation for us. And I wish that they were alive to see him at that point, just even in the running, it just was so
Mm-hmm. It really was. It was a time that even I thought, I would never see, let alone our grandparents and great grandparents. Like what, So I don't think we would ever, that some people get upset and they're like, it's new. It's a new president. It's been a new president, but when they don't understand, they don't get it, and that's okay. That's okay.
We feel about the Obamas like people felt about the Kennedys, before. Just that you just love them, the whole family. Yeah.
I mean, whenever you can feel a connection.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And Michelle is such a hugger. It just it makes you feel special.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now help us out here, because I know that we, are here to talk about skin. You're here to help us, get our skin together and let us put our best face forward. So I'm just going to jump right on in. Can you just let us know what are some of the skincare basics or product suggestions, even before the products? what are some of the skincare basics that everyone should follow? Right.
Yeah. So the steps that you would follow in a regimen are pretty much the same as what I would do in the treatment room. I'm just going a little more aggressively, using products that work a little more, effectively, and adding some tools. But at home, the basic steps are that you cleanse, and then maybe 2 or 3 times a week, not every day, you exfoliate.
Mm-hmm.
And after exfoliating, you use a toner. The old theory was that the toner helped balance the pH of the skin, but really you can get treatment toners now that have anti-aging or age management benefits or acne control benefits. So you use a toner, and that keeps the skin moist so that the next layer of products penetrate a little deeper. Some people jump straight to a moisturizer after that.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do, if you think of it like you have your shampoo and your conditioner, but then there are styling products. There are those little things that are specifically for your, pattern of curl. And it's the same with the skin. Keratin is nails, hair, skin, it's all keratin. So there are some of those accessories, those products that really just add to your regimen. And that would be your ampules and your serums. So I like to use a different cocktail of serums before I do the finishing cream. And then sunscreen, of course, so those are what did we do? Cleanse, exfoliate, tone, your conditioner, whatever those are, serums, oils, ampules, and then your moisturizer. And that's 6 steps. That's not too bad. That's not too bad
at all. And the serums, would that be based on your skin, whether you're dry or oily? Is that when that comes into play?
It is. And we talk about skin type, but I like to really focus on skin condition, because you can be dry and acneic. You can be mature and still be oily. So I like to talk about more conditions, because then we can layer. You can mix and match your serums. You can use a serum with an oil to really target whatever the issue is that you're going through at that moment.
Gotcha. So are we doing the serums before the moisturizer so that it will penetrate better, or because it's normally a different texture, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when I teach my students, I tell them that we're actually working in the level of molecular weight. So the heavier products go last. Gotcha. And those lighter products, your toner, your ampule, your serums, and then your oils, and then your moisturizer. It's almost one of the brands I used to work for. They looked at your toner as like your sweat, and your oils or your serums as your sebum, your natural oils. And you want to blend those to recreate that barrier that we take away with the scrubbing and the cleansing and all of that. But also there can be specific, antioxidants or other ingredients that we can talk about that really target specific issues, not just, rebalancing the surface, but then the ingredients that really start to bring about a change in the skin at a deeper level.
Yes, we definitely want to talk about that. And I just have to say, your skin is fabulous. I'm looking at you.
And I'm like, I went through a period. My chemist is working on a retinol, and he sent it to me in 4 different versions. And you should probably, when you start a retinol, this is just a side note, you should probably just start with once a week or every other night. But I wanted to try them all, so I did them 4 or 5 nights in a row. My face was crispy. It was like giving myself a peel every night. It was really cool. Yeah.
Well, it looks good. You rebound very well. It looks really good.
That's exactly what I texted him. The rebound is great. That's what I just texted him.
Great minds, great. So listen, when it comes to moisture, since that's our last step, I know that some
Mhm.
people who have an oilier skin, they try to sometimes shy away from moisture, but I've always been trained that every skin needs moisture no matter what. Is that true? Can you confirm that for me or deny?
You are correct. Yes, thank you. I just saw a sister esthetician who made a post about oil-free moisturizer, and I was like, no, we don't do oil-free moisturizer. No, there's nothing wrong with it, but your skin, thrives on those lipids. It needs those fats to rebalance the barrier, and also there's a ring around the skin cells, and that is kind of what keeps all the good stuff, the DNA and all the information inside. So we need those oils. Don't eat the oils, put them on your face. We need the good fats. We need them. And then when it comes to moisturizer, there are a lot of different schools of thought, though. I'd say that if you have oily skin and you're in a humid climate, you can get away with the serum,
Right.
and that because you're getting the hydration from that serum, and that might be all you need. But just because you have acne or oily skin, don't shy away from the oils. They really do. You don't want to do heavy occlusive oils like shea butter and
Right.
some of the heavier, even avocado might be too heavy. But there's fractionated coconut oil. Jojoba oil is actually the same level as your natural sebum. So that's a great oil if you have acne or oily skin. It's just replenishing what's already there, and it's a seed, so people typically don't have a high allergy to it. And you can buy that at Whole Foods just straight,
Yes, I did not know that, but that's good to know. So that's note number 3. I did not know that, but that's good information. Now, you were talking about having specific issues. Let's talk about hyperpigmentation, because I know it's different, ethnicities, especially women of color, we deal with having uneven skin tones. So can we talk a little bit about first what we can do to prevent it, and then if we haven't had the opportunity to prevent it, to actually what can we do to get our skin without changing 2 or 3 colors lighter? I can remember back when I was younger, I had family members, and they would buy this cream and they would turn out so light. I'm like, how many shades lighter did you turn? So how do we prevent this? And if we haven't prevented it, what are some good products or good steps to take to get that tone back?
I think that's a great question. So I like to think of products are just the tools to get to the ingredients that we want. So I always talk about ingredients, because while you might have a budget for drugstore brands, the drugstore brands typically don't have a high concentration of those active ingredients. And so the pro brands might be a little more of an investment, but you'll get a bigger bang for your buck. But that said, look for the ingredients, find out what really works for your budget and your lifestyle. And then you can find these ingredients in every level, luxury down to the drugstore brand. So for hyperpigmentation, I like to look for arbutin. Arbutin is a derivative of a berry, and it kind of acts like hydroquinone. I don't know, we all know hydroquinone. That's probably what your family members were using.
Yes.
Yes.
I never knew how to
that's
say
been
it,
Oh yeah, HQ, hydroquinone. I have a love-hate relationship with it. Hydroquinone works. It'll get you. It zaps that. But what it does is it toxifies your melanin-making cells, and so they don't produce as well. Some of the other ingredients just stop the chemical process, but hydroquinone shuts down the cell. And so that's why I'm so leery, also because I have a high reactivity to it. But I would say if you're going to fool around with hydroquinone, just go to your dermatologist, get 4%, get some. There are some lower percentages, 2% that you can buy over the counter or from your esthetician. But you want a medical grade and just, get in and get out. Don't play around with it, using it long term. Just use it for a short period, a couple of weeks, and then stop using it. The arbutin is a great substitute, but if you're like me and have old, long-standing pigmentation or like those ingrown hairs that wind up, then you want to, you want to go straight to the hydroquinone. That's unless you prefer not to do the toxic chemicals, and I understand that. I'm a by any means necessary esthetician. I'm going to give you, the natural turmeric scrub works too over time. It's brightening. Vitamin C is brightening, so you can do vitamin C drips. You can take it internally. You can put it on topically. It works to brighten and stimulate collagen no matter how you get it into your system. Soy proteins brighten. We also have licorice root will brighten. Glutathione is my favorite ingredient.
And now, is that in a product, or is that something somewhere where we can get that? Okay.
Both. So glutathione is an antioxidant, and your body makes it. So when you put it on topically or when you ingest it, it recognizes it and it really utilizes it. All the cells come up and grab it. And so that is, if you Google, there's a Nigerian actress who did vitamin C and glutathione drips, and she started out darker than me, wound up lighter than you at the end of it.
Is that supposed to happen like that? Or
I don't think it's for your liver, but that's what she was looking for. So it worked and she got her result. But those are the ingredients that I like to incorporate to brighten, and then kind of top it all off with a retinol. A retinol is that one ingredient, this thing I burned my face with last week, is that one ingredient that does everything. It's a catch-all. So it actually regulates cellular turnover. So what I love about it, you can get it in different strengths, but what I love about it is that if you are more mature and kind of sallow and saggy, and it's a little, the skin's just not sloughing off like it should, then a retinol will kickstart everything. But if you have acneic skin and there's kind of a buildup and it gets kind of waxy, then it'll slow everything down so that get the buildup of skin cells. And it stimulates collagen. We should all be exfoliating. So the retinol will do some level of exfoliating because it's, sorry, the sirens are going.
That's okay. I can't.
Okay, good. The retinol will do some level of exfoliating, and then of course it depends what kind you get, because it's kind of helping slough off the dead skin cells and normalize the skin. Now that's what the retinol does. But on a bi-weekly or maybe twice a week or every 3 times a week, you should be exfoliating. And some people like scrubs. I'm not a big fan of scrubs. Some people love the brushes. I'm not a big fan of the brushes. I like to use enzymes and then occasionally acids. So enzymes, fruit enzymes typically, are used because, again, the body recognizes them and it'll utilize them. So as long as the enzymes are moist, they're digesting any of those dead cells on the surface of the skin.
That's something we definitely would come to you for. We wouldn't try to do that at home. Or you could. No,
enzymes you can. Enzymes you definitely can. Yeah, and there are even acids that are made for consumers. We'll get into acids, but let's focus on enzymes. The 2 enzymes that are commonly in skincare products are papain and bromelain. It comes from papaya and what's the other one? Papaya and pineapple. bromelain comes from pineapple stems. And you might be familiar with it. It's also great for joints and movement. Those enzymes are always breaking down any built up proteins. So when you put it on the surface of the skin, people sometimes have indigestion. They'll take digestive enzymes because it helps break down the food in the gut. When you put it on the skin, it does the same thing. It breaks down all of that buildup. So the difference with enzymes and say scrubs, the scrubs are going to they're mechanical. They're going to go, that brush or those granules are going to go as deep as they can. And you're based on your pressure or how sensitive your skin is, you may go too deep or you may not go deep enough. There might be buffering ingredients that don't really work for your skin. So with the enzymes, I love it because they don't change the pH of the skin, so they're not breaking down the barrier as much, and they don't scratch the surface or go too deep like a scrub can.
Gotcha.
So that's why I rely on enzymes. You can also switch to acids. Retinol before bedtime. Yes. We got a little quick question.
Yes.
You should definitely apply the retinol at night. And there are two reasons. One, that's when your body utilizes it most, is at night. That's when its receptors are actually awake and ready to utilize retinol. But then also retinol and all those brightening ingredients make your skin photosensitive. And so you have more chance of burning or, increasing hyperpigmentation when you're using these products. So that's another reason we use it at night.
Okay, that was a good question. Because I was getting ready to add it to my daytime routine.
I've tried that before. It doesn't work. Doubling up doesn't work. More is not better. Yes.
Gotcha. Understood.
But when we talk about the other types of exfoliants, so retinol, yes, using it a couple of times a week is great to help regulate cells. And then doing your scrubs or brushes, if you need to, I might do them maybe once every 3 months. I might feel like after a chemical peel, I might feel like, oh, I need a little extra boost, and I'll utilize a scrub with an acid in it. But then the enzymes are my favorite. You can do that several times a week without compromising the skin. And then you get into the acid category. And what you guys can get it's not that aggressive. It's fine. It's going to neutralize and you'll get the benefits without a lot of the peel, When you get into the chemical peel is when we start to get into the lower pH. So our skin is 4.5 to 6. pH, and all of our soaps, our toners, they kind of operate around that level because they want to keep the skin at a sort of acidic level because that keeps off bacteria and any kind of other growth. So that you might pick up in your environment during the day. But with the chemical peels could go down to a 2.5, a 2 pH, and that's when we really are busting open those surface cells and like really just we call it a controlled burn that we're creating.
But
and so
you look so good afterwards. Like after all of the peeling is done, it looks like brand new skin.
Yes. Have you had a peel?
I am nervous to have a peel. I have not had one done, but I am getting older, so I really am considering doing. I'm not against any of it if I think that it's going to help me out. But I was just concerned. I didn't know who to go to because I am a Black woman. Do I try to find someone who's used to my type of skin, or does that really not matter? So I hadn't done a whole lot of research, but I'm not against it. And lately I've seen a couple of people who have gotten it and they're just peeling and peeling, but they're still, even through all of that, they're glad they got it. So I haven't done all my research yet.
You definitely get a great end result as long as you prep. And that is, I've had so many clients lately, like before the winter, who just wanted to jump right in. And and you can't. I've got to, we got to get you on a brightener, maybe even like a hydroquinone product, because we want you to start pushing back any of those melanin making cells, anything that might have an adverse reaction, that might kind of flare up. I always tell my esthetician, this NARS lip gloss is falling up on me. I can feel it.
I understand.
I always tell my estheticians that melanin is really our best friend, and it just wants to protect. So when it feels threatened, like, oh, you got to burn, we need to come up and protect, you're going to hyperpigment. Yeah. So that's why we prep and kind of eat all of that back, so it's not as reactive when you do the actual peel.
Gotcha. So I might have to tap on you for a moment before I'm like, okay, I might need some suggestions, or I might just need to come see you and let you. How about that?
Well, I'd be happy to do both. I'm adding on my website, askaliesh.com, I'm adding a locator. So all of my students, anyone who's taken my online courses, will be listed on this locator around the world, really. Yeah, so we're working on it.
Yeah. So, and I know, you're located in Philly?
I'm in Philly now. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome. That's an awesome tool. So does sunscreen, because a lot of people of color do not feel like they need sunscreen. Let us know about the sunscreen. Come on.
That is my biggest pet peeve. So I'm terrible, I have to say. I make sure I have it in the car. I have my serum, in my tote bag, because I forget about it. I forget about sunscreen. Because I grew up trying to get as golden black as I could in Texas. I love it. But I know it's not good for me, and I have the little sun damage on my nose to prove it. But the sunscreen is essential. And so here are the arguments. Oh, we're black, so we don't need sunscreen because melanin is our natural SPF. It is, but it doesn't, even the deepest, velvety purple, blue, black Senegalese skin is only an SPF of 30.
Oh,
it's
really?
Beautiful. Need sunscreen. Yes. It only has routine. And what that means is after, so we kind of estimate like 10 minutes per point of SPF. So that's 130 minutes in the sun. That's 2 hours. After that, you're going to have sun damage. And the sun damage is actual radiation. We've got to think like it's a microwave. Those sunburn, a suntan is just your immune system's way of protecting the DNA inside the cell. So it's like the immune system is like, oh no, I'm getting radiation and I need protection. So melanin comes up and covers the cell. That's a suntan. Wow. And then when you burn, it's gone too far. When you burn, that's your body saying, oh, I'm going to curse. Oh crap. Uh-oh.
Good catch.
She went into let's get this stuff off of here now. Let's like start sloughing off and peeling. That's why you peel after a burn. Your body's like, oh, these cells have been, have had radiation, and that radiation, of course, that means that could lead to other issues like skin cancer, even us. Yeah. Bob Marley, a perfect example of how we can be affected by skin cancer. He died of subungual melanoma, a melanoma under his toe that he thought for years that he thought wasn't a soccer injury, that he was just couldn't stop playing soccer and thought he was just, re-injuring his toe. And it turned out to be a melanoma. So we definitely have to, in our sun exposed areas, we definitely have to apply sunscreen. Now, the argument that we don't get enough vitamin D because as people of color, the vitamin D, it takes a little while to process, but 15 minutes on the back of the neck is all you need every day of sunshine to for your body to produce enough vitamin D.
And you said back of the neck, so that matters?
You know what? I didn't even ask the dermatologist when he told me. I was like, yes, okay. I guess because I don't know why.
Yeah,
There
I'm
is
gonna have to look
something
into that.
unexposed areas and unsun exposed areas and how the cells are used to working. I don't know if that comes into play.
Right. So I could just see myself like outside like this, trying to make sure it hits my neck. Hey, whatever works, right? So
Exactly.
now let's
Exactly.
talk about this other subject. And I have really bad, dark under eye circles. Please, what can we do? I've heard tea bags and all kind of stuff. Let them get cool. Put it on cucumbers.
Mm.
All types of just home remedies about these dark circles. What can we do? Because that's the issue that I run into often.
So I will say all of it works and none of it works. All at the
Oh
same time.
no.
So, with the home remedies, the tea, you get great antioxidants from the tea. I used to do this Ayurvedic treatment where I would grate cucumber and put it in gauze and then put
Yes.
that on the eye. You get great soothing properties and all of that. But what's really going on is at a vascular level most of the time. Sometimes it can be dry, allergies,
Right.
or just a dry area, and that can cause hyperpigmentation over time. But most of the time, it's a vascular issue. It's just that the circulation needs a kickstart. The skin is really thin down here, so when the blood, like healthy blood, is going to be it's going to be blue as it passes through.
Right.
But
Right.
it just kind of pools there and it makes this kind of blue cast under the skin, which
Yeah.
we see as circles. So you can internally take vitamin K. That's one of the remedies that we used to prescribe at this homeopathic pharmacy that I worked with. Vitamin K supplements, of course, check with your doctor. It's not contraindicated for any of your other meds.
Yeah.
But that will strengthen the capillaries and flush that through so that the blood doesn't pool or get leaky, in a sense, that area. But what I tell, especially my natural clients, I tell them, those that don't want to listen, they don't want to get peptides, they don't want the eye creams, because you can get peptides and eye cream and vitamin K in the eye creams to build things up from the top down. But what I tell them my naturalistas, what I tell them to do is just get raw sesame oil. There's a lot of zinc in raw sesame, and so it supports the skin structures. And just massage from the outside in a circle for 1 minute on each eye.
Now,
And you can do 2 fingers.
I was going to say, how long is this going to take? Because, we want everything like this.
Exactly.
And we got places to be. Like, how long is this going to work?
Wait, if you don't have time, then you find a good plastic surgeon or a really good dermatologist and you go get a little filler. And you can work it out that way. Most of the celebrities do. Just, get the little filler.
Okay, so we're rubbing the vitamin K.
Yeah, well, the sesame oil. You want to do sesame oil.
That's right. There you go.
Yes. It's from the outside in because that's the way the muscles attach. So you want to kind of put them back in place that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long should you see results? Like, do this every night or do it once a week and maybe after a month or two?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. My clients who say that they gain a benefit from it. I used to do it, but now I have this microcurrent machine, and so that's my new best friend.
Gotcha. All right. So I'll keep anybody who really, really like right now, if I was to take this off, it would be very dark. Yellow corrector underneath of your makeup will do wonders. So let me just give you that little tip to the viewers.
For my skin tone, I use the orange corrector.
Yes, yes. Sometimes for
my
me, the orange is a bit much under my eyes, so I just use yellow, but definitely correct.
So the orange that I use, I don't see it anywhere else. It's from Makeup Forever. And they have a quad, makeup quad that has all the color correctors in it.
Yeah.
I don't use that. We have a cream pot that is a little more, it's not as blue. It's not as deep. It's more vibrant. And so I can mix that in with another concealer and get so I get the benefit. I can mix it in with a lighter concealer or a darker concealer. And that's the only one I would carry. And I used it for European all the way to African, like or I should say African all the way to European, since the motherland came.
Yes.
I'm already brainwashed.
Hey, that's okay. You caught yourself. So
right.
You said Makeup Forever, and it's in a cream pot. Let me see.
Yeah, they're called these flash color or something like that. They're blue, pink, and then this neon orange, and that neon it lasts forever. Yeah, I'm assuming they still make it. It was back when they were owned by these two makeup artists in France. They created it.
I'm definitely
now L'Oreal owns it. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they haven't messed with all of the products. I'm gonna definitely find out. Now, listen, everybody, we are talking about skin tonight. We have guest Miss Aliesh Pierce, celebrity esthetician. She has worked with Queen Latifah, India Reid, our forever First Lady and President, the Obamas, and a lot more. She knows what she's talking about. She's the expert in the room tonight, and she's here to help us out because everybody's ready to get out, right? So before we get out, we want to get out right. We don't want to hurt ourselves while we're out. We want to look our best. So if you have questions, please put them in the comments. We'd be glad to answer your questions. Get her while she's here. So if you have specific questions that you would like answered on the topic of skincare, please put them in the comments and I will show them so that we can get you some answers. Now, I know you said quite a few different ingredients. You said retinol. You said, I can't even say it. What is it again?
Hydroquinone.
The other one. What is it?
Yes. Known.
Yeah,
Hydro. Yes.
Are there any other specific ingredients, whether, like you said, we're looking at the drugstore brand or we're looking at the higher ends? What ingredients should be listed to say, okay, this is something I should use? And it doesn't matter where it's listed, if it's listed first or last, or do we want water to be first? Like, help us out into what we should be looking for.
Well, that's perfect. We talked a little bit about peptides and, how that can be in eye creams. Peptides are the building blocks of protein. So they really will reinforce and recreate the collagen and elastin fibers in our skin. Yeah. So when we're looking at age management, we want to make sure that we're incorporating a peptide serum or ampule or cream into the regimen on a daily basis. And the reason I talk about peptides instead of just collagen, they might be collagen peptides, but I don't talk a lot about straight collagen, because there are only 3 types of collagen. And usually marine collagen is probably used the most. Bovine is the most effective. And then there's the plant-based, which is less effective, but you'll find it in vegan items. But when you drink collagen, or even when you put it on your skin, it doesn't build collagen. So that I know.
Wait a minute. Because the bottle of those collagen pills tell you to take about 10 of them, and they're huge. And you mean to tell me, wait a minute.
Right. So the collagen that you take doesn't build collagen. It will keep the glycosaminoglycans. It will keep the hyaluronic acid and the other structures intact so that you can build collagen, so that, you know, the cells communicate effectively. So it makes a nice environment for collagen to grow. But collagen grows with vitamin C, and then the amino acids proline, lysine, and glycine. Well, there are a bunch of collagens, but the collagens that we use in our skin. So if you see peptides, amino acids, vitamin C, all of those build collagen. Vitamin E helps sustain the health of the collagen. But drinking the collagen just kind of keeps everything hydrated and functioning optimally so you can build more collagen. So that's
you have told me something on tonight. I cannot believe it. I mean, oh gosh. Okay. That totally just shocked me. Because I'm like, it's so big. The pills, of course, you can put it in your drink, like they have the powder. But I'm like, I don't really want to do that, you know. So I was like, let me take the pills. And then I look and see how many, and okay, we got a question. Yeah. We got a question. So what's the best method to cleanse your skin after wearing a mask daily?
Oh my goodness, that's a great question. So what I've been doing with my clients is a double cleanse. This is an esthetician thing, but it's great if you can incorporate it at home. I do a cleanse with an oil. I use a really fancy balm, but you could just use sesame oil or jojoba oil again. And I do that just to break down all of the bacteria, the environment, the pollution, the humidity under the mask is just, everything is growing in that moist environment. So I start with that, and then I go into a second cleanse, which would be my my skin condition specific cleanser. Now, if you don't want to do the oil cleanse, if you're afraid of oil, like a lot of people are, just use a wipe. That's fine. If you have a wipe that, you know, if doesn't irritate your skin. Okay. But do something to first get off the day, and then use your product for the actual skin, cleansing the skin.
So what about the micellar waters? Do you think they're good to work with, like for cleansing, or just to take off makeup? Like, could that be the first step?
Yeah, so I would use that as a first step. I'm not gonna lie. I have some Acure micellar water wipes at my bedside, because at midnight when I'm like,
you don't feel like
it, and I just don't feel like it. Yes, I'm sorry,
I feel you. Yes.
Yes. So in a pinch, they'll do coconut oil as the first remover is fine. But yeah, I like to get into a treatment specific. I have ongoing hyperpigmentation because of ingrown hairs. So, and some hormonal fluctuations now are causing some hyperpigmentation issues. So I use a cleanser with mandelic acid in it, because mandelic acid is a large molecule. It doesn't go too aggressive, and almost every day, probably too much, I'm using a mandelic acid cleanser.
So let's talk about some cleansers. Like, what are some good cleansers that you recommend?
Ooh, okay. Your doctor is going to tell you, dermatologist is going to say, what's that? Cetaphil.
Yes. Use Cetaphil. It did not work for me, but that's what they said. You're absolutely right.
I used to have an issue with it because I was working in the natural products industry, and Cetaphil is petroleum based. So I was always looking at it from that point of view. But then I had some clients come in who have really sensitive skin, even acneic skin that's really inflamed and irritated. And so I'm saying, okay, Cetaphil, they say use it because it won't do any harm, but it doesn't do any good either. It's just a thing to use. That's basically
it's so thin and watery. Like it never made me feel like my skin was clean. If you get
clean, yeah. If you had to go like drugstore route and just get Cetaphil, I'd say just get sesame oil. Just go like an Ayurvedic, natural, traditional remedy kind of cleanse, and or jojoba or sesame. and forego the Cetaphil. But those cream cleansers do have a purpose. There are people with really dry or dehydrated skin, or really sensitive skin, people with rosacea, and they just don't want to have those stripping surfactants, the agents in their cleansers. So you can get you can get them at the drugstore level, but you can also go. Oh, what is that one brand I use? I love their products. The cream cleanser is. I'm gonna have to send it. I was just thinking I need.
I'll post it later. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great cream cleanser, but
it's not Dermalogica or any of those, right? Yeah, send it to me.
I'm ill of Dermalogica, but I don't use any of their products.
Okay. But we won't talk about them.
Right. But then the other type of would be a gel cleanser or a foaming cleanser. And those, you need to look at the type of surfactant they use. So you want to stay away from anything that's a sulfate or a sulfite, because those are irritating. They have a high possibility for allergy. And then there's some talk if you go to ewg.org, the Environmental Work Group, you can you can research the ingredients, and they talk about the level of toxicity and all that. I just stay away from them because they can be really drying, and at my age, I don't need anything really stripping and drying. Yes. So I look for like a sulfide instead of a sulfite. And soapwort, other ingredients that will give me the foaming agent without stripping the skin.
Now, we still using witch hazel and all of that for toners, or we?
So if you need to use witch hazel, if your skin is oily and you need a witch hazel, fine. There's only one brand that I really know of. I'm sure there are others, but there's only one that I know of that's really just witch hazel. Most of the brands are mixed with alcohol. And so Thayer's is just witch hazel bark. So it is a level of alcohol from it, but it comes from the witch hazel bark. The other ones have isopropyl alcohol added to it. And that is just going to strip your skin and make your oil glands freak out and produce more oil. It's counterproductive to use those alcohol in your
So what toner should we be using?
So I like treatment toners. There's a company called Mudvellum. They have one with water, and it just draws a lot of moisture to the skin. I have my toner. Actually, this is an old label, but I have where is it?
Bring it back. There we go. I see it. Okay. All right. You gotta get some of your toner.
Yes. And so you want to find a toner that is going to hydrate. So NAPCA is an ingredient that's in it, but hyaluronic acid or sodium hyaluronate are two of the most popular, highest searched ingredients in your toner, because they're going to keep the skin moist and kind of lay that foundation for you to continue to draw that moisture in those other products that you're layering into the deeper skin.
Gotcha.
But your toners could, if you have oily skin, you might find one with salicylic acid. Some toners have lactic acid, which is good for everything. It's kind of a good across the board. I have a toner that has mandelic acid in it, which does some brightening. Yeah, you can.
Those are good options. Well, I'm going to definitely give you a moment so that we can support you and your products as well. So I'm glad you showed that. We have about maybe 5-6 minutes left. So you guys get these questions in. If you have questions, get those in. Let's talk about shaving and how not to get these bumps. And let's talk a little bit about that before I let you go here.
The way to not get razor bumps is don't shave. Period.
Okay. And so we're doing sugaring, we're waxing. What?
dermaplaning, lasering in severe cases. I have a male client now we've been working together 9 months. When we started, I told him, if you continue to go to the barber and use a straight edge with your texture hair, without lasering, you're going to continue to get ingrown hairs. So we have been doing this dance of like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, and it's been really gradual. And I finally just suggested, I think you should go to a dermatologist. I think he should get laser hair removal. There's a laser, not every laser works for us, but there's a pseudo laser, the ND YAG, and we can get hair removal. If you're going to, can't get a series, it might be 100, 150 a session, and you might need 12 treatments. So maybe you prefer to go to your local esthetician. Just make sure that she's using either sugaring or using hard wax. I wouldn't try to do facial hair with the regular strip wax. It's just too dangerous. You have to make sure you're not on any steroids, that you're not doing any acids or more aggressive exfoliation, because then the wax will exfoliate also. So you want to use a hard wax, a wax that you put on and it hardens, and then you pull that instead of the soft strip. And then there's a product called PFB Vanish. There's one of their roll-ons has Chroma Bright in it, one of their patented brighteners. And you put it on immediately after waxing or shaving, and over time, it slows down the hair growth. So I have a client coming in like every 4 or 5 days. She opened up a business next to where I was working. So she was coming in like clockwork. We tried sugaring. I'm not the best sugarer. And I thought, no, this isn't for us.
Right.
We tried everything, but we settled on my good old hard wax that I've been using for decades. And going through every 4 or 5 days, going through this session and using the PFB Vanish afterwards. She is now down to 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. From every 4 days? That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really a miracle. It's a miracle. Without paying thousands of dollars for laser, she was able to get some of the results. Now she's starting to say that she's concerned about hyperpigmentation, that this area is getting a little darker. So, and that will happen because we're exfoliating, we're kind of abrading the skin. So I'm just asking her to pull up on the sunscreen and keep using the Chroma Bright to push back the pigmentation.
So so are you a fan of the Brazilian waxing?
Oh my God, I love them. I hate doing them, but I love them. Yes, I hate doing them.
What's the pros and cons for that? Because what if you have really curly hair? Or I've heard some questions where people will say they become really itchy afterwards. Or, is that because of what's being used? Like, which questions should you be asking before you go?
Yeah. Well, you definitely, again, want to go see someone who's using a hard wax. I think European Wax Centers only does the hard wax. That's a great chain to go to. They have a really quick method that's virtually painless because they can go so fast. But you might get itchy, you might get ingrown hairs, you might, like, all of these things might happen, but you want to exfoliate in between visits to keep the ingrown hair away. And over time, what the wax is doing is, first of all, if you've been shaving, it starts to get all the hair growing in the same direction. You can see I'm
right. Yeah. I'm following you.
But when you're shaving, like, the hairs are going, even one follicle, the hairs could be going different directions. But as you wax, the first thing that starts to happen, all the hair is growing in the same direction. And so there's less breakage over time. So you get less ingrown hairs over time. And then it kind of scars when they really get the bulb, it kind of scars the follicle. And so the hair grows thinner and thinner and thinner until it's really fine. So it's worth it to stick with it. Sometimes people just don't want to go through that uncomfortable phase, and I get it.
Right.
I had a client who was of Italian origin, no, Ukrainian, and tried waxing maybe 4 times.
Right.
Every time I waxed, you could see every little follicle, every white bulb at the tip of the hair.
Right.
And her skin, though, looked like chicken skin. It looked like, you know, after the feathers had been plucked.
Yes.
And it would sometimes get pinpoint bleeding because the follicles were so deep when I ripped them out.
Right.
It was just traumatized. And she tried 4 times, and then she said, it's just not getting better. I can't do it.
I understand. I can't believe she came back 4 times.
we have this idea that, you know, if you keep going, it's going to get, I think now she went to get laser, though. I did talk to her. It's been over 10 years, but she did go get laser. And that
so she didn't
has
give
helped.
Up. She didn't give up.
Laser hair removal.
Yes, yes. Now, is there anything I didn't ask? Because we're actually at 8 o'clock. I was just looking at some of my other questions that came in. What products should we be specifically using for the summer? I think we talked already about
sunscreen.
Yes. Now tell us, what products and services do you offer?
Oh, this is me. So I am makeup artist turned licensed esthetician and a director of education. So on my site, I make all of those services available. If you're a professional esthetician and you want to learn more about my philosophy, you can take my courses online. If you're in the Philly area, or if you want to do a virtual consultation, I offer skincare services. And this is kind of the first time, I guess, for the last year in a long time that I've really had an organized platform for services, because I've been working with brands as a brand developer and an educator. So when I opened up in my friends after pandemic, when we were allowed to open up again, I created a line of products, just a small niche, like right now, 7 products that target hyperpigmentation and kind of balance the barrier of the skin. So that's it in a nutshell, a little bit of everything.
Good. So you all make sure you all go and check her site out. I am going to go on and definitely support. I need new products anyway, so it's a good time for me to switch over and try something new. So I just want to say thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed your time in the conversation room. I have learned so much. You have broken my bubble, though. I mean, and a lot of stuff. I'm like, oh my God. I tell you one thing, I'm throwing away that bottle of collagen. Like, I don't have to take this anymore. No, it's vitamin C for me and all the rest of the, papaya and pineapples and all of that. So good. That's 6 less pills I think I can take. So, but I have enjoyed you. You have given great information. I wish you only the best. I'll be following you. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. If you can hold on for me.
I sure will. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Good. All righty. We're going to get you in the green room there. So how about that? Skin is definitely in. You don't need to do a whole lot to cover up. You can just go out and be confident. There's so many products now that were not out before that we have access to, that we can really give ourselves a good foundation in the skin. Whether we're man, woman, child, there are products that we can use. And even if we want to wear makeup, because I love makeup, but the best makeup looks great on great skin. It's just no way around it. So I just want to say thank you again, Aliesh, for coming tonight. And if you all have any other questions afterwards, just go in and put it in the comments and I'll be sure to shoot them over. Look, you guys, like the Conversations with Graciously Me Facebook page. Make sure you also subscribe on YouTube, because we are on YouTube. So if you would go over, put in Jamila Scott, and you can subscribe. You will also be able to go back and see previous shows. If you are a lady, join us in the Graciously Me Empowerment Group that's also on Facebook. And we now have our new platform. So Graciously Me is growing. We have a boutique now. Be sure to shop. We have candles, we have jewelry, we have statement tees, we have bags to carry your makeup in. We have so much. So go ahead and shop graciouslyme.com. I just want to say I appreciate everybody who have joined tonight. And look, guys, it is Mother's Day weekend coming up. And I just want to say that if you still have your mother in your life or a mother figure, be sure to love all up on them. And if they're not here anymore, but think about the good things, the memories of how, growing up and different things. Try not to think so much on the negative part or them not being here. I know it can be so tough, and I have no idea how it feels, but I do know that I just want to put that love around you all, the people, that may not have their mothers with them any longer. I would say surround yourself with people, other people on Mother's Day, to just give you that love. But I'm sure your mother will want you to be in a state of happiness, to want you to not be, sad and tearful. And so, I just want you to gather around some people and get some good old love. And like I said, if they are here, enjoy them, honor them. Make sure that you give everyone their flowers, including your mothers, while they're still here, while you still can. So listen, enjoy your weekend. What do I always say? In a world where you can be anything, always choose to be yourself, because no one can beat you at being you. Have a good night.